Good afternoon, everyone. Oh, look at that sun. That's nice, isn't it? Good afternoon. Welcome to today's Instagram Live. So today we're going to be talking to Kavita Bassi. Now, Kavita has quite an incredible story. She has, she's been through something that no one in the world would ever wish to go through, and she's here to share it with us today. I'm really excited to hear this. She's written a book, and she does a lot of work for charities, and she does some really amazing things in the world for the charities in which she's also had the experience of dealing with. So yeah, I'm going to be talking to her today about her story, her journey, and what she's been up to during lockdown, and also sort of a bit of an insight as to what she can give us with regards to what she's learned about her time during lockdown. So yeah, I'm going to bring her on just now. Wait for a few people. Hello everyone joining in. Welcome. Right, let me just grab on this. Hi everyone, welcome. Right, I'm going to bring in Kavita and we'll get going with this live. Hello Kavita.
Hi there. Can you
How are you?
hear me okay?
I can hear you perfectly fine. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Fantastic. How are you doing today?
Yeah, I'm doing good. We've just had some really glorious weather over the last few days, so I've just taken the opportunity to enjoy the sun actually at the
Amazing. Where
moment.
where in the world are you?
So I live in South Manchester, Cheshire side.
Very
So
nice.
yeah, it's been beautiful here. Usually we have a lot of rain, and it's not been like that at all.
Hopefully it's here to stay. The summer is coming. It's good. It's good.
Oh, I
Um,
hope so.
Thank you for joining me here this afternoon, and yeah, thanks everyone for watching. That's come on and joined us as well. Kavita, for people that don't know who you are and also don't know much about you, do you want to just give us a quick introduction as to who you are, and then we can kind of dive into a bit more detail as we go.
Yeah, so I'm an author, a public speaker, and I'm an ambassador for some three great charities: the Brain and Spine Foundation, UK, the B Foundation, Philadelphia, USA, and newly appointed for Same You organisation, which is Amelia Clark's charity. So, and I try and give out positivity. Like every day, I try and do posts to give people a positive outlook and a happier outlook on life.
Absolutely, and obviously this is something that is in the last, what I say, 4 or 5 years that you've kind of obviously been doing this sort of stuff, but because obviously something happened to you back in 2015. Do you want to share that story with us in a bit of a, so that people can understand the context of where you're coming from?
Yeah, so 5 years ago, it was March 2015, and basically I woke up with an excruciating pain in the back of my head, and it was as if a sledgehammer had gone right through it. And I basically got up screaming. No one knew what happened. I collapsed and had a seizure and taken into A&E. And that's when they found out that I'd suffered a subarachnoid brain hemorrhage. I was always a very healthy person, um, and I just couldn't understand. And I was 38 at the time, um, so I just couldn't understand why that had happened to me. But yes, I suffered a hemorrhage and 2 months in hospital, four brain operations. I've got a shunt inside now. And basically, I had to relearn a lot of things, like learning my coordination again because I was unable to walk at the time. I had to retune my sounds and hearing, memory loss, so many things, fatigue. It was just, I also had personality changes. There was a lot of things that happened. But yeah, that's sort of a little bit of background about me.
And obviously you've come through, you're happy and healthy now after everything that's happened to you. I've watched some of your stuff on YouTube and listened to some of your book and things like that, and the journey you went through that whole ordeal was incredible. It was yeah, I mean, it blew my mind. Do you want to just give us a bit of an insight as to kind of, take us back to where you were going through that time and sort of thinking to myself, like, what is life got ahead of me, and to versus like now where you are, and the stuff that you're doing for all the charities and things like that.
So I first of all had trouble understanding what had happened to me. It was a really, really difficult time for me. And, this isolation that I'm in now actually feels like the isolation I was in at that time. It sort of takes me back there. And basically, I couldn't find much information out there because I was a young mum. I just suffered this hemorrhage. I had all my hair shaved on one side. I didn't look like myself. My personality had changed. There were so many things, and it was grasping what had happened to me, which was the most difficult part. I did reach out to a few charities, and this is why I'm ambassador for them. And they helped me and directed me to make sure that I got the right support. So I had a lot of physiotherapy. I went to the Priory for 6 weeks as well, and got a lot of therapy through there. That was what was the turning point for me, was getting over that understanding. And actually, I just then started thinking about, I'm actually here, I'm actually alive, and I will be okay. Whether I do have certain disabilities or certain mental health problems, I can and will be able to, live my life as much as I can. And I think that positivity and that energy and that determination was really what got me through everything. If I was not feeling well, I'd still, think positively and do things that day that made me feel happy. A lot of the things that really got me through it was sort of going back to what I used to enjoy when I was younger. So, and that was also therapy because I used to enjoy painting and music when I could listen to it, and just, doing those like little things, riding a bike, um, just those things that used to make me really, really happy when I was younger. I started doing a lot of those things again, and it really brought back the sense of why I'm here, what my life's about. And I think also, because there wasn't much information out there, I wanted to help other people. And I wanted to help them not only so they didn't feel alone in their journey like I did, and not just that, but also to give some understanding to people that haven't been through it or don't know anything about it, and to give them a little bit of insight of what people do actually go through after suffering a stroke or a hemorrhage or something similar to that. And which is why I used my diary, because I used to write a diary every day, because I forgot everything. I would say I forgot every single day what I used to do. So I used to write a diary, and I sort of compiled all of them notes together to sort of do my book. And again, with my YouTube as well, and having those videos out there, I wanted to share with people what it was like being at home every single day during that time.
Yeah.
It was, it was a very challenging time. It was really, really difficult. I didn't understand what was going on. I couldn't recognize myself anymore. And that helping the charities, helping others, has really helped me. And that could only be a great thing.
So your book, Room 23, it's I suppose partly your story, but also would you say it's something that helps others that maybe have been or will be going or is going through the same sort of thing that you went through, whether it be family or themselves, is a good tool for people to sort of like looked upon if they need some sort of help in that respect. It may not be the same sort of the same thing that happened to them illness wise, but maybe something they're going through in terms of having a family member in hospital, or something that is a life-changing procedure or illness happen to them. Do you think that the book would be good for them to read?
I think I think first of all, in the context of people with neurological conditions, there's like 1 in 6 people that suffer a neurological condition, and there's like something like over 470 different conditions.
Wow.
So people that have the known ones are like stroke, hemorrhages, MS. I have to write everything down because I do forget things as well. Yeah, dementia, epilepsy, Alzheimer's. There's like so many. But I wanted to write something that didn't just appeal to that genre. I wanted to write something that people could see, a young mum who had a great family life, and something would happen to her, and then she changed her whole life because of it.
Yeah.
Um, so it's also giving, I would say, like some of the younger generation, a bit of hope. Um, and so they can see that if someone like that can go through that and then still, come out the other side and still be positive and still be happy, then anyone can do what they really believe in. Anyone can do what they really put their mind to. And I think it appeals to anybody. Well, I hope so anyway.
Absolutely. I think it's it's a really how do I put this? Um, I've had the same experience in my family. I lost my dad to the same thing that you had, and it was many, many, many years ago. So it was the thing that really, like back then, it happened so quick. And as you know, it's something that just comes out of nowhere, and unless it's treated properly, it can go it can only really go one way. And so, when you reached out to me and said, I'd like to talk about this, I think that it really touched me personally, because I think that it's something that I've never, when you said people don't know much about it, it's true. Even though it's happened to me and my family, I still don't know much about it. And I think part of my journey with it has just been to almost block it out, because I think, well, it happened, and I think it's just what happened, and I need to just deal with it. But actually, you're right. The thing is that people do need to know more about this, because what if it happens to somebody else? Or what if you know someone that has the symptoms of, how do you deal with this? How do you work out what's going to happen next? How do you get them to the right place, the right treatment for the the symptoms they're having? Do you think that since you've had the scare, and since this whole ordeal has happened, do you think there is more information out there? Do you think there is better awareness of brain hemorrhages and things that happen around them?
I think it is becoming more and more. But I do feel there still it's a bit of a stigma, because you can't see a lot of the neurological issues, especially things like mental health. People don't really get it. They don't understand it unless they're going through it themselves. So I still think there's a lot of stigma against and the understanding of all of these problems. But this is why it's so great to sort of represent certain charities, because one of the charities I represent, which is the B Foundation, they look into more of research and prevention of, aneurysms. So they put more of their funding into that. And then I work with the Brain and Spine Foundation, which are more about caring and directing people into the right places. If they don't understand something, or if they need some help with something, they direct them to the right place. And then the Same You organization are more for that younger generation, and reaching out and connecting with those. So I think there are a lot of charities out there that really do give more information out to others if they do want to know more. But I feel that there still isn't enough. There isn't enough. And that's why, again, I did my YouTube. I do put posts out on my Instagram, but I felt that my book would reach more people and give some of that understanding. But yeah, it's a difficult one to understand.
Yeah, I think when it comes down to getting awareness out there, there's a big part of your life big part of life that says, what you put out is what you get back. And it's a funny thing with spreading a word about illnesses and tragedies and things that are basically out of our control, because you're not really looking to get anything back. You're actually just looking to give information. Looking to give everything you possibly can to people that may also experienced this sort of thing. So, you know, I think if anyone is looking to sort of give back to the community, to a charity, to anything, I think you just have to be so selfless about the way you do it and just keep giving, because you never know who's watching. That's what I've always found with particularly social media and things that you put online, right? You know, you put them out there and you think, oh yeah, I get a couple of likes or I get some comments or whatever, but actually the people that are watching it may not always like or comment on it, and so it is being spread. And I think that a lot of people get downhearted by the fact they'll put something out they feel really passionate about, that then they don't get necessarily the feedback they expect. And I think it comes down to having zero expectations. And I think there's a
Yeah.
big thing to say about that. You know, you know, and tell me correct me if I'm wrong, but your expectations of this whole experience probably wasn't what it was now when you first started this journey, right? And you know, when you first started this journey, all you were thinking about is your survival and oh my God, what's happened to me? But bring yourself forward to this point now. You've had no expectations of where you are now. You've written a book. You're an ambassador for some fantastic charities. You know, you've got to look back and think like, wow, I've done all that off the back of something that's been so awful. That's such a positive way to look at what's happened to you and to go forward with it. So I think what you're doing is great. I think it's amazing. I think that you should continue doing exactly what you're doing, because if it doesn't happen today, it might happen tomorrow, it might happen the next day, but one day you will start getting people recognizing your traction, and God knows where it will go in the next 10 years. You might
Well,
have 3 books written.
you know, I hope so, because raising awareness for such a difficult thing, you know, that did happen to me, is I'm so passionate about it. And my first video, I think, has reached like 6,800 views or something, which means that it is actually going out to people. People are actually watching it, and hopefully it is helping. And you know what, at the end of the day, what you said is completely right. You should have no expectations. And that's just not about, you know, helping charities and doing these things, but it's no expectations on life itself.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, you become a lot more content, you become a lot more happier if you don't have those expectations. And I think that's you know, I'm just happy if it helps one person, I'm happy. And I think that's the thing, because I had no one to turn to at that time. And I couldn't find anything out at that time. So I just want to make sure that others don't feel alone in their journey.
You mentioned you have a family as well. How have they found this journey with you? I'm sure they've been extremely supportive. You've got 2 kids, and has it been a fantastic experience as a family to be able to, you know, you've got the support of each other to help you through this?
Well, I must say that it was in the beginning very challenging for them, obviously. It was very emotional. I just wasn't the same person that I was before. And they say that as well, when you have any impact on the brain, it can really split your personality. And so I did suffer a lot of changes with me as a person. And even my husband said that I was married to someone for nearly 20 years, and now I'm married to someone else. And I was like, well, isn't that just really exciting? I try and make it very lighthearted. I try and be a little bit sort of easy on, you know, whatever's happening. I don't like to take anything too seriously. So they had to go through therapy as well. They had to have that understanding, because they weren't able to help me. And as a unit in my family, I've got a son who's 15 now and a daughter who's 20. And yeah, my husband. But as a unit, I think because they did all of that, and because they put in that effort, which is really important, we've become stronger out of it altogether. And they understand. And even when they're about to tell me a joke, because I just don't get jokes anymore, they'll say to me, "Mummy, we're about to tell you a light-hearted joke," and then they tell me the jokes. I know when to laugh, because otherwise I'm just like, I'm not really getting what you're saying.
Gosh.
Because my brain just works in a different way. It just
Yeah.
completely works in a different way. But yeah, my family, it's really important to have a supportive family.
Of
Um,
course.
yeah, you also go through changes with them, not just your family unit, but also your friends. And I think that all of that sort of, you then realize who is, close to you, who is there for you, and you sort of stick by them as well.
So, bringing on to what you said earlier about lockdown being very similar, or this isolation being similar to what you experienced back when you had your illness. What do you think? And I asked this to quite a few of my guests. What do you think your biggest learning is going forward from, what you were like before lockdown kicked in, basically the end of 2019, through to now, and then what do you think you're going to take forward into the rest of the year, the next chapter, I suppose, of whatever that will be for us. What is your biggest sort of like takeaway from this whole experience that we've just been gone through?
Well, I just feel like I've actually done so much during this time. I don't know how, but I just feel like I've just done so many different things. I started painting. Oh, I've got one of my bottles. Yeah, I'm going to actually show you it. 1 minute. So I've been painting bottles.
Oh wow, that's amazing! You painted that?
Yeah, I painted that. So
Great.
wine bottles, when you're finished with your wine, if you do drink wine, or any bottle really. Yeah, I painted that. So I've been painting, but not just that, on canvases as well. I've been doing TikTok, which my kids have got me into. But I wrote a second book, which was
Oh,
another thing.
exciting!
Um, I think the takeaway thing though is that whatever I was thinking before it happened, it's actually just sort of made it more, I think, made it more real for me, that everything that I'm pushing in terms of the charities, in terms of raising awareness, and in terms of living my life to the fullest, I think those have become even stronger during this time. So I think my takeaway is definitely that whatever I was thinking before, it's just sort of validated it. Everything's been validated. Um, and also, again, you do realize who are actually close to you and who are actually there for you. And it's actually nice to have that feeling as well. But I do think that I'm going to be pushing to do more for these charities, to do more about, keeping everyone a little bit happy with my posts, and just doing something that's going to really, really make a difference. And I think that's my takeaway.
Fantastic. That's amazing. I think it's so easy during times like this to kind of feel like you're in limbo, and if you have something that you can work with or towards, i.e., working with the charities and TikToking and painting and to do all the things that, clearly make you happy. I think that's what is really, really important. I think a lot of people that I speak to, particularly ask me, what is it that I can do to keep myself busy or to fill the days essentially with all this lockdown stuff. And I just say to them, do what makes you happy. If it's something as simple as, if you like watching Netflix and that makes you happy, watch Netflix. If you're reading a book, read
Yeah,
a book that makes you happy. If you go for a walk, go for a walk if it makes you happy. Because as
completely.
soon as you do something that makes you feel good, it helps everything else in your life. Full stop.
Yeah.
It doesn't stop there. It kind of just, it pushes the endorphins through to the rest of your world, and also it radiates with everyone else that's associated with you. You feel more social, you feel more upbeat, you feel more energized. So I think that if there's one thing that people can do during this time, if they're feeling like they're a bit sort of like bored, stuck, whatever the word is, just do what makes you happy. Start that thing that you wish you never started, or go back to something you used to do when you were a kid. Like you said, you used to dance a lot and you used to paint, and so it's just things like that you need to just
So
focus on,
true.
because otherwise we're going to go back to normal. I'll say normal. We're going to go back to whatever normal is next in this life, and life is going to go crazy fast. It's going to be really strange. Like things are just going to go like 5 times faster than we're ready for them, I think. And I think that people are going to get a bit overwhelmed, and there's going to be a whole new wave of almost like anxiety about the fact that we're going too
Go
fast.
back to
So
normal.
I'd say just enjoy it while you can. Enjoy the time, enjoy the fact that we've got nothing going on, you know, and just be safe and stay home and just like ride the storm, I suppose is the best way to put it.
But there was one other thing that I wanted to say as well. Basically, before I well, during my time of, you know, while I was ill and everything, I used to be a vice president in a global fashion company. So I used to have this passion about sustainable clothing and sustainable fashion. And so I started this whole project about 6 years ago with the company. But last year I did leave the company because I wanted to do something myself. And actually, another thing that I've done during this time is I've set up two brands which are going to be released quite soon, which is one's a activewear brand, and everything's made from recycled plastic bottles. And the other one is a vegan accessories brand, which
Fantastic.
is promoting being vegan. So I've got these two brands, Reflex One and Rationale, which I'll be launching quite soon. So that was another thing that I did. Like I said, I've been quite busy.
I love that. That's super cool. If people want to find out more, is that first time we've heard that?
No, it's we have been posting a few things, but it's on Instagram. So we have it's at _reflex one, and the other one is at Ration L. Ration just with an L. But yes, you can sort of follow the journey, because we'll be launching pretty soon. And I wanted to make a difference, like I said, because I'm passionate about the environment and everything. And I'm also very into helping our next generation and helping them with, you know, protecting what we have here on the earth. Yeah. So exactly. I'm a bit of a nerd on that. So no,
I think it's great. And if people want to, because I saw a few people actually message on here about your book. Where can people find your book if they wanted to buy it?
Okay, so my book, I've got it here as well, which is Room 23, Surviving a Brain Hemorrhage. And you can go onto my Instagram, and there is a link at the top which takes you to my website, and it can give you all the different places that it can be bought from. So you can go on there, or Amazon even. Amazon's easy because deliver to your door. But yes, they can get it. And I've done it on Kindle, and I've also done an Audible as well, which took a long time.
I think you're an incredible person, and I think, you know, the things I've been watching, there's been lots of messages popping up saying you're an inspirational woman, and, you know, I think that sometimes when you go through things like this, you have to understand that you know, you go through a horrible experience, but you come out always learning something more about yourself and the world from it, right? And I think what your attitude towards it is, because you're not sitting around and self-loathing about the whole thing. It's you've taken every positive you possibly could from the whole situation and led you to doing what you're doing now, and it's inspirational, you know, but it's also so lovely to see, because if anyone, there's hundreds of thousands of people going through illnesses and heartache and problems in their lives all the time, but if you can just take one positive from the negative situations, then it can just ease the pain ever so slightly, you know. So I think what you're doing is great, and I really enjoy you know, listening to your story, and I'm excited to hear what's going on with these new brands you're launching and your second book. You know, it's all going off. It's fantastic. By this time next year, you'll be on your third book and fourth company by
maybe.
Yeah, exactly.
But I was going to say as well, even though I have this positivity, I still suffer from a lot of things on a daily basis. I suffer from extreme fatigue, memory loss, still have coordination problems. I can't even read in the same way as what I used to before. It's, you know, but what I'm trying to do is adapt to all the things that I'm unable to do. And like, I can't read, so I get all my books on Audible. So I just listen to audiobooks. So I'm trying my best to adapt to certain things. And because I get so tired and I want to be there with my family, I usually sleep around like 2, 3 o'clock, usually during the day. Quick nap just to make sure that I'm there for the evening meal. But yeah, I've just adapted to it all, I think.
That's exactly it. You've got to just make, got to pivot where, you see if something happens to you and you've got to just adjust things and just, but it has to work for you because as you say, you're trying to support not just yourself, but the family and the people that you love around you. And so, yeah, you've got to make sure that you're there for them through thick and thin, as they say. It's good. It's good. Kavita, before we wrap up, I just wanted to do sort of a quick fire question round that I do with some of my guests. And it's just basically for people that are watching to get to know you a little bit better. But is that okay with you if we do a
Yeah.
quick fire question round? So just whatever the first thing comes to your head, just let me know and we'll go off with it. So what's the place that you're missing visiting the most here in the UK? Where's shut at the moment that you're wishing you could go to?
Dunham Massey. I absolutely love it there. I think they've opened up the National Trust parks. I'm not sure yet. But Dunham Massey I absolutely love because I like being outdoors and I like being, in nature with animals and whatever. Yeah, I'm missing that, I think.
Very good. What's the best series that you've been watching on Netflix or Amazon Prime or anything while you've been in lockdown?
Oh, the best one I have to say has been Picard. Because I'm a
Picard,
super
okay.
Star Trek fan, and it's a spin-off of Star Trek, and it's been amazing to watch that. Very futuristic, and it's very in line with how I think.
Amazing. I have to check that one. I haven't heard of that one. I have to look that one up. That sounds good.
It's amazing, amazing.
I'll have to look it up. What's the best book, other than yours, of course, that you've read recently and what has it taught you?
Oh, I think one of my favorites is by Dr. Wayne Dyer. Actually, all of his books are quite good. And it's I Can See Clearly Now.
Okay.
Sorry, I have to write things down sometimes when I'm talking because it
That's okay.
processes differently for me.
No,
But
absolutely
yeah, I
fine.
can see clearly now that it was a changing point for me reading that book.
Fantastic. How would you describe yourself in 3 words?
Okay. I would describe myself as happy, very positive, and kind.
Nice. I like those. Nice, good words. I would agree. What is your favourite takeaway or Deliveroo?
Lebanese, I would say. That's probably one of my favorites. Yeah.
Like it. What's your favourite
We
app
have a
you're
lot of
using?
Indian in the house already, you see, because that would have been my first, but we already have a lot in the house.
It's nothing's better than home cooked food. I know that for a fact. Yeah. What's your favourite app you're using at the moment on your phone? What have you gotten into?
Oh, I don't know actually. Oh,
TikTok?
it's got to be it's got to be Audible. I love
Audible,
that.
yeah. Good work. I like it. Audible's good. It's good. It's good for running. It's
I'm learning from it. That's why I like it because I'm learning from it.
it's a good one. What is the first thing you do in the morning when you get up?
Okay, all right. You're gonna love this. So I walk over and I get up very, very early, like 5:30 usually is my like morning time. And I go over to the window. I open the curtains, even though my husband's still asleep, he hates it. And I open the window because I just want to see that I'm here and I can actually see the world. I know it sounds a bit crazy, but I have a little bit of gratitude
Of course.
about that. So yeah,
That's
that's what I
amazing. No, I
do.
think it's lovely. That's a
I
really,
do
really
feel
lovely
like
thing to
singing
do.
sometimes, but I don't want to wake him up. But anyway.
If you do, you do you. It's fine. I'm sure you'll get over it. You can wear earplugs. That's fine. Fine. What's the best piece of advice that you have ever been given?
Yeah. Okay. So this is a good one. It's actually from my mum. She always says to me that never do anything to hurt someone's heart. And I didn't really understand it, but it means whether it's a speaking or whether it's an action or something, never ever do anything to hurt someone's heart. And I think that's why, being kind is so important.
That's a really nice one. I like that. It's good. I've gotten so many quotes from and different pieces of advice from people I've done these with, and that's a really, really nice. I like that. What would you say your greatest strength is?
Um, Determination, I think, because if I didn't have that, I probably wouldn't have achieved some of the things that I've actually done. But yeah,
Yeah,
I think that's probably one of my biggest strengths.
I like that. It's good. What would you say to your 21-year-old self?
Um, I should have, I don't know actually. I always think there should be no regrets in whatever you do in life. Um, so I just wish that I'd sort of understood the meaning of life and the meaning of being happy and living in the present. I think that's probably what I would have said, but I don't have any regrets from my 21-year-old self. And because, you know, my
Amazing.
personality change has actually gone back to that younger self of mine.
Gone back, gone full circle. I like it. I like it.
Yeah,
Gone
it
full
has.
circle. That's good. Um, and where is the place that you're looking forward to flying to when we're allowed to go back and travel again?
Well, I think at the moment I'm not looking to even go anywhere because even if we are allowed to go places, I'm just like not in any hurry because I just think that, you know, we just have to be sensible and careful. But if I was wanting to go somewhere, I think Disneyland.
I love
I
that.
don't
Love
know.
that.
Or Bahamas. Was one on my wish list. Yeah, I think probably one of those places.
Fantastic. Good stuff. And last question. What day of the week is it?
What day of the weekend? It's Tuesday, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Did
Yes.
people forget it? Did people do forget?
uh, I swear, I think I've had probably like one, maybe two people say, is it one? Is it? No, it's Wednesday. It's definitely Wednesday. No, it's Tuesday. And I'm like, it's confusing.
I
It's
was
so
going to say
funny.
Monday, by the way, but yeah, it is Tuesday.
Yeah, I'll get you off because it was a bank holiday yesterday. So it kind of feels like
Yeah.
a Monday, doesn't it? Exactly. Good stuff. Kavita, thank you so much for joining me here this afternoon and allowing us into your life and sharing your story with us. It's been super inspirational, and I really hope that everyone that's listened and listening has taken something from it. If people want to find out more about you, read your book, find out all your stuff about your charity work, or even just get in touch, where's the best place to find you?
The best place to find me is on my Instagram. I have my link for my website on there, so people can sign up to my website. They'll see all my stories. I try and put positive things on there. But yes, it's at Kavita_Bassi. Um, so it's BASI because
Good
it's not
stuff. Thank
Shirley
you so much.
Bassey. Thank you so
Um,
much for having me.
You're absolutely welcome. And look, I look forward to doing this again in the future at some point. Hopefully we can do it in person next time, or maybe, you know, in a studio with a proper podcasting environment. But yeah, in the meantime, look after yourself, keep safe, and yeah, I'll speak to you again soon.
Well, enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you very much. Take care. See you later.
Bye.
Guys, thank you so much for joining us here today. If you have any questions, obviously drop Kavita or myself a message, and we'll happily forward them on. Obviously, we'll happily get back to you on that. I'm going to post this on my IGTV. So yeah, if you didn't catch all of it or some of it, or if you just want to have a look at it again, or if you want to share it or do whatever you want with it, you can check it on there. So yeah, but anyway, guys, I'll see you tomorrow. We've got another live in the evening, and yeah, looking forward to seeing you guys all again there soon. Peace out. Have a good one.